that spoke more to me about what I actually want in a relationship than anything else I'd ever seen, ever.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100.
You just can't have a regular mug, can you?
Welcome to another episode of the Married Game Podcast, where the voice you trust when it comes to lust, where who you hire when she lacks desire. When I was growing up, the kids thought they were cool if their pants were sagging. On today's episode, let's talk about your wife and her incessant nagging.
Oh, incessant.
I can't even not smile around here with you.
All I do is crack jokes.
Yeah, you crack them. They're good. They're good.
Yep.
Well, welcome. We have a fun. This is the stat of the year. 2025 is now going to be boiled down to this one thing. I've been asking so many dudes, how many couples, marriages, relationships do you know that you actually have met the person, shook their hand, looked at them, overheard them talk, hung out with them, whatever it is that you know in real life, that you go, I want a marriage like that.
Mm-hmm. And?
What do you think the answer is?
Well, my answer is, I don't know. That's
What is
my
your
answer.
answer?
No, that is my answer. No one I can recall.
Okay, and that's not because you have so many that you're having a hard time remembering all at once,
No,
and
it's
we
that-
need to take it
yeah.
slow because there's 20.
Like, I can possibly maybe come up with a couple, but I don't really know them.
Okay,
So everyone I've gotten to know, no, there's nobody.
okay, but I ask guys this.
Yeah.
And the most I think I've heard a guy say is one.
And do they say,
No. Other than I go in real life,
okay,
and who that they know, they don't know us, right?
Yeah.
But they go. Almost every guy says 0. A couple of guys had said 1, and they go, but watching your guys' podcast, and actually, I've overheard you guys talk more than I've ever heard any other couple talk.
mm-hmm.
And they go, that's what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
So, but how crazy is that stat that almost everybody doesn't really know a couple that they would go, that's actually what I really want.
Yeah.
That is just
Out of all the people.
it's mind blowing. I've
That's
asked 100
insane.
guys that question. 100,
That's crazy.
maybe only 50, but it feels like 100. Either way, it's
Well,
been
if
a
somebody
lot.
knows, please let us know.
What? Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
just
anyone.
so rare. It is just
Yep.
so rare. How could that be that rare if everybody's married?
No.
Everybody, not everybody, but damn near
Yeah.
everybody is married or in a relationship. And almost none of them can go, oh yeah,
I want that.
that's actually the embodiment.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, who was the one that had who has had the greatest impact on me in terms of relationship success? And I said it wasn't even anything I heard something say. It was what I saw with my eyes when I saw John and Tammy Corson walking down the street holding hands, just radically in love. I'm like, that spoke more to me about what I actually want in a relationship than anything else I'd ever seen, ever.
Side note, I wonder if it's because your dad used to say, I want that relationship and point to the pastor's wife. And then you kind of saw that and looked at it and was like, I want that. And maybe thought that they had the best thing too.
Well,
I wonder how real it all is.
I believe theirs.
Theirs is,
I've been around them.
that's awesome.
And you can tell this lady like adore. It was the loving faithfulness, supporting. I adore this guy.
Yeah.
Attitude that she had.
Because when you hang out with them, like, you can't fake that.
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
Because you often see a lot of wives like, yeah, you know him, or he'll never do. He
Yeah.
doesn't do that. You know, the little
Yeah.
things that they say.
Yeah, this lady wasn't that way, dude. And it was like, oh, and I had never really seen that.
Yeah.
The only other time I saw that as a kid was in church, and there was this beautiful blonde lady. I don't even know if I'd consider her beautiful now. I don't even
Yeah.
remember, but I remember this dude had he had a blonde, like spiky on the top, but like curly hair mullet in the back. That was a thing back in the 80s.
Spiky and curly.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
dude. It was the machine gun mullet, dude. It was that those guys were tough. Probably wore
My
some
dad never had a
Oakleys.
mullet. He
Probably had
just
some
had the big
Oakleys,
hair.
gold chain,
Oh
maybe a
gosh.
hot pink shirt that he opened up.
Oof.
Yeah, this was that guy. I got the impression he probably owned an air conditioning company. I mean, this is all
The
whatever
short jean shorts.
whatever my
Cut off
5,
short.
6, or 7-year-old brain thought that's what it was, right?
Ew.
But all I knew is I saw this lady put her hand in the middle of church on his back and would rub his neck.
So you were like,
I didn't grow up around that.
yeah.
So that left a real deep impression on me. It's like, if I'm going to be a man with a woman, I don't want to be sitting next to my wife like my dad's sitting next to his. That looks
Despising her.
That looks horrible.
Yeah.
But whatever that is, 2 or 3 pews ahead of me.
Pews, is that what it's called?
Pews. Those are the
Pews.
pews are like the long benches.
I
with
didn't
the
know that. What's it called?
You didn't know they were called that?
Not pews.
Church pews.
It's an awful name.
It is a horrible name, right? Pew. Anyhow,
The chairs, the benches.
benches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
So it was these momentary things. Then when I was 15, when I was 14, this guy named Brian would take us down here to Laguna Beach. We would go to Crescent Bay, really nice shore break, really hollow. His girlfriend would ride with us. And she sat on the beach and watched us surf and just loved this guy. Another deep impression
It
was
makes
laid upon me.
so much sense because you want me to go to do your thing and watch you. And I'm like, I'm so bored. I don't say that to you.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm
I
like,
get
I'll
it.
go.
Yeah.
And sometimes I won't. And then you want like touch and you're like, hug me and like
Yeah.
hold my hand. And you're
But
just like that.
But you embody that spirit of hand
Yeah.
on my neck, rubbing my thing, cooking for me, like that.
Yeah, the spirit of it.
That's when I
Yeah.
knew.
When I wiped your face with the
Yeah.
napkin on our first date,
That's a different
you
woman.
go,
That's a different woman. So it's just
Yeah.
there's an energy
Oh, it
of
makes so
that
much
woman, and you embody it. You
Yeah.
embody it. So it's like, oh shit. So I didn't even know. It was just I saw something. I go, that a woman actually liking her man
hmm
and not even knowing that guy's getting that behavior because that's the return on the investment he's made in that woman.
you just thought that's the way she is.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
yeah.
I deserve it and I want that.
I just didn't know how I was
Yeah.
gonna get it. I didn't know how I was gonna get it. I just want that.
I want that.
I didn't want the fucking alternative,
Right.
which it seems like every other guy has nowadays, which is just not peace, not pleasure, not playfulness, none of that stuff.
Nagginess.
Nagginess. So let's get into it. Good
Let's get
segue,
into
Jessie
it.
Joy.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk. We want to talk about what?
Things women nag about the most. So we'll say the thing in the naggy way. I'll help you do that. I know how to do it really well.
Yeah.
And then we'll say the meaning behind it.
All right.
What's the reasoning why?
Okay.
Okay, so we wrote down number 1. I always
these are in not in order of importance. This is just we're just taking.
I was like, what have I nagged about? What have women nagged about? What are the things?
Yeah.
These are the things.
Okay.
So they're just the things. I always have to repeat myself.
Ooh.
Why do I always have to repeat myself?
Oh, that's our girl.
There we go.
That's our girl. There she is. Put a little edge and nag into that, and
It's
just
just like
a little bit
nails
of
on a chalkboard. You're
oh,
like,
a little bit of
I've heard
complaint, a
this
little bit of
before.
criticism.
Why do I always have to repeat myself?
I know, right? Fuck that guy.
Oh, but that's the great response.
Yeah.
What was your response before?
What?
What did you respond with at our old relationship?
Most guys like, you don't have to repeat yourself. I'm right here. Like I heard you.
I'll
and they're-
fucking do it. Why are you nagging at me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like are we going to the next one or should we break?
No,
this one
I
down?
want to know why.
Let's break it down. Are we
I
here
know
to
why,
break
I'm
things
just-
down? Or are we here to?
We're breaking it down.
Okay,
So why
break
do I
it
always have to
down.
repeat myself?
What is she really saying?
Right.
Want me to tell you?
I want to hear yours first.
Oh, what I
yeah.
think that she's really what she's
Yeah, I wanna
really
hear
saying is, or what she's actually feeling is, you are not treating me as very important because I'm having to repeat what I'm saying to you, and you're not listening, you're not taking it in, and I must not be a real high priority because you actually are forgetting everything I'm telling you, so I got to repeat it again.
That's exactly true. Is that I mean nothing to you, basically. I
Mhm.
asked you to do something, you won't do it. You do things for other people, you do
Mhm.
things for yourself. What about me?
Yep.
I'm not, I mean nothing to you at this
Yeah.
point. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And that's what she should say is like, I don't feel like a priority to you.
yeah. But when she does say this,
Yeah.
why do I have to keep repeating myself?
Yeah.
This is when our guys, that's you, listeners, that's when you go, oh, if she's saying this, what she's really feeling is that I'm not treating her like she's a very high priority.
Yes.
And to which a guy would in his brain go, well, she's not. I've gotta make a living. It's like, fine, you gotta make a living can be top because you gotta eat.
Yeah.
But she better be a fucking feel like a close second, like you actually are into her. I've got an idea of how to solve this, but I want to talk about it when we talk about what we typically have struggled with.
hmm
So yeah, but that's what I want the guy to hear that.
Um, I want to say this, but it could be a whole topic. It could be a whole podcast, but I'll just touch on it. Is
Okay.
that you and I had talked about it's not really priority. Like things are a priority, but things at different times
Yeah.
take different priorities.
hmm
Meaning your work during work hours that you've designated those work hours to
Yeah.
take priority.
Yeah.
They just do. When you come home, your work is not a priority anymore. I'm
Yeah.
your priority. The kids are a priority. It's time management
Mm-hmm.
that should be the priority during those times.
Yeah. And I
Not
think,
one is way above the other
yeah, I think
because they all matter, right?
yeah, I mean, if you're not hitting on all cylinders, you're not hitting
Yeah.
on all cylinders.
hmm
So if you got your body dialed in and your business is broke and yet your wife loves you, there's scarcity and you're like, why can't we
Yeah.
afford nicer things? If
hmm
you're fucking your business is booming but your body's fucking shit, you're not going to feel confident.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're not hitting all the things, you're 100% right.
So the next one is all you think about is sex.
Ooh.
Sex,
Yeah.
is that all you want from me?
Yeah.
That's a naggy way.
So
That's all you ask for me for? Sex?
yeah, so
Yeah.
what she's actually saying there is I feel like you don't like the whole of me, you just like the whole in me.
Yeah.
And you're saying I'm not feeling very valuable or important or cared for or seen for as an entire person.
Yep.
And so I feel like you're just using me for something.
Yep.
And I don't want to just feel the only thing I'm valuable for is to spread my legs.
hmm And when the husband is not doing all the other things to meet her needs, and all he's doing is asking for that one thing, that's
Mm.
the only connection. That's when it starts. When I said I feel like a walking vagina,
Yeah.
like that you're not even listening to me. You don't want to have conversations with me. You don't want to hang out with me. Yet you still ask me for sex.
Yeah.
That's why. That's how it tends to go that way.
Yep.
You got to do all the other things too,
Yeah.
and that will just come. That's the
And
fruit of
all
the
the other
labor.
things not to get sex, but to all the other things to keep the balance of transaction. You're actually just balancing the transaction
Right.
and saying, I want to give in a massive way to you so that if there's something that I have a need, a desire, a pleasure, or a want, you'd be like, I'd love to give it to you because I got
Yeah.
all this love units to spend right
Exactly.
back on you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Why do I have to ask you to do something? Why can't you be proactive? You know it needs to be done.
This this is said, and this is where a guy will typically like, I'm not a mind reader. That's a cop out. That's a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
I'm not a mind reader. Okay, cool. But
Yeah.
so if you can't read minds, then what do you need to get really good at? Asking questions.
hmm
So you're not a mind reader. So most people go, I'm not a mind reader. So they
Yeah.
stop there and go, well, nobody's a fucking mind reader.
Right.
But you can learn language, body language. You can learn how to ask questions so they can tell you what's actually going on. So a guy will typically stop because I'm not a mind reader. But what's actually happening inside the woman is she is saying, I've probably told you this was important to me at one point in time before, or I've told you I wanted help with this thing at one point in time or before. And so rather than every time we get in this situation, I have to call upon you for help, it would be fun for you to notice where I'm at and to be able to like already have that idea and be able to step in
Yeah.
and be a teammate because now it's not just also it's not just the woman carrying the mental load of the thing, but she feels like her teammate, her man, is also there helping carry the mental load during those. I would say this isn't always the case, but most of the case, there's been some sort of verbal or nonverbal expectation laid out that somehow they've agreed to. And she
Mm-hmm.
feels like he's letting that down and therefore, again, not feeling like a high priority or that her desires are high priority.
And in some cases, it can start to feel like that's the other child.
Mm.
Because she's like, I'm carrying your weight too. Now I'm waiting on you. Now you're my other child. Then you start to become in the mom matrix, right? So that's some circumstances where it's like, you are also the problem. I need you to help with the problems. I need you to help with the life that is happening around you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I put here cleanliness and messiness together.
Okay.
So cleanliness is a huge one. Well, for me, for anyone, but I want to hear why.
So I'm taking cleanliness as to mean their own personal body and their own thing, and then messiness is the trail they leave behind them. Is that kind of how you're seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would she say? What's the nag?
Like if he's asking to do it, she's like, no, like you just went to the gym, or you haven't showered today, or you smell bad, or sometimes it's harder for the wife to say something so direct, and so she'll just be like, no, thank you, or make an excuse, right? But I think that the men need to hear, like, it's really important that you have your hygiene up.
Yeah.
Because I mean that no one wants to do someone so smelly, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
or even sit next to.
Yeah, there's some girls that really like that guy when he's all sweaty and primal and raw.
I mean, then that's
There
what
are,
they
yeah,
got.
but
Yeah,
then,
that's
but
fine.
then that guy would not be hearing this nag.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, the messiness they would hear.
Okay, but let's do the thing and then the thing. So, in terms of the cleanliness thing, I think what she would be, she's stating her preferences, and if you don't abide by those preferences, it makes her feel like that her word, like she's not able to stick up for herself and be like, maybe she could say this, if you were clean, I would fuck you way more often. But because you're not very clean, it makes me not want to. And for the guy to go, okay, so the woman inviting me into this experience with her is saying, I have a boundary, I have a rule. You can't be dirty, because that's just gross to me. And him not understanding, oh, she's making a preference, not just some extra hoop to jump through, because a guy will think like he's got this extra hoop to jump through. That's what victim and entitled men do. It's been infected into all of us to a certain degree, and to fight out of it is one of the hardest things a man will do, is to fight out of that scarcity entitlement. But it will always fucking rear its ugly head all the time. So he goes, oh, she's just making me jump through these hoops. Why is she doing it?
That's crazy.
And it's like, no, she just doesn't like smelling. And for a guy, he should understand that, because some women's vaginas smell horrible. You know what I mean? Like they haven't done anything. They haven't cleansed themselves in a long time.
Oh, wow.
And so just imagine it's your turn. You're going down there and it's horrible, and you're supposed to just accept that.
Yeah.
When she could go clean herself. You just be like, why am I'm suffering through this experience that could be amazing.
Yeah.
So that's the cleanliness thing. That's how I understand it. Spot on, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Messiness thing is, how would she say the messiness claim? A nag.
Like if you made your sandwich and this is the one we talk about, you left a little peanut butter on there, and I'm like, who's gonna clean that peanut butter?
Yeah.
I'll have to if you don't.
Right.
Yeah. The one that you do that I'm gonna tell everyone right now is that you sit and eat every single chair in the house.
Yeah, I do.
And you always have one under your arm in the back, and you flatten every pillow.
Yeah.
So you sit here, you sit there, you go upstairs to sit in one, you sit in one in my bedroom, and then every pillow is smashed. That's your snail trail throughout the house.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I know.
Yeah, that is funny, but that's not leaving no trace, and that's a concept I believe in, and I thought I was living, but apparently, in Pillowland,
we're all human. No, in Pillowland, you're not, for sure.
Yeah, so this nag about messiness comes down to, I think, a simple mindset shift. Is just real simple. Hey, bro, yes, you might be a soulmate, but you also in life are a roommate, and take some responsibility for your ability to be a good roommate. You know what I mean? And I think that simple frame is pretty easy to like realize. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of being a bad roommate.
I mean, if you do that one, then you do your shoes, and then you do crumbs here. Like that shit adds up.
Yeah.
in a woman's brain, then you're like, now I'm walking up after you, like cleaning up your shit.
Yeah.
When that starts to add up, and it's not fun.
Yeah. And if a guy is understanding, like, well, what would that feel like? Well, so in the circus, as you know, there's the elephants.
Okay.
And then who comes behind the elephants?
Shit cleaner.
The shit cleaner, the
Yeah.
poop scooper,
Yeah.
right? So
That's what it starts to feel
that's
like.
what the wife will start to feel like. He's like,
Yeah.
no matter where this guy goes, I'm straightening up after him, and I'm doing this, and it's really easy. I thought I was really, really great at it.
Not really,
but-
really, really. And there's
but
no
not the-
3 reallys in there.
Yeah. My God.
You're just good.
I thought
I'd
I was
say.
good at it. Like, it's not something that you would be able to.
You're better at it, like
Yeah.
better, twice better than you used to be,
Yeah.
but you're not like really, really, really.
Okay. Have you complained to your mom about it in the last year?
In the last year.
Okay, so 11 and a half months ago. Just kidding. I don't know, but it's pretty rare that you'll find
I think
anything
because I have
missing.
all my other things, I'm like, oh, I give you. There's a lot of grace there, but it's
Yeah.
just the little things like some shoes or the pillows.
Yeah.
It's
So
not as like bad as it used to be at
Yeah.
all. So
Yeah. So there you go.
we're human and we're living in that house and it's fine. I have kids in there too, so it's
Yeah, we're roommates.
yeah.
And I'm a great roommate. So are you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Let's break it down. Now this is the one. Go ahead.
No, we have another one. We have one more and then the one.
Oh, what's the bonus?
I'll set you up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. I never see you. You're always gone.
Oh man.
You're never here.
Yeah. Okay. These are actually really good.
It's fun to say it, Naggy, too.
Yeah, because you don't really talk like that.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Tone.
Triggered. No. So, all right. This what's interesting is because these are the things that all these guys are hearing their wife say.
Yeah.
And it's tempting. So here's the first thing a guy's going to say in his mind when he hears this. Wow. I'm out here providing for you,
Yep.
busting my ass to try and work for you. And rather than say thank you,
Right.
all I hear is you never see me. Okay, so that's where he goes first in his mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instantly defensive.
Yeah, well, we call that the victim's penalty box. So he gets offended. Oh my God, she doesn't appreciate me. Yada
Yeah.
yada yada, which is very telling of where his spirit and energy at, as far as taker energy versus giver energy.
Exactly.
And even black belts trip up on this one. This is not an easy one to overcome. Getting to the fact that you can be happy with and of your own validation seems to be the actual path of what personal growth actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of insecurities and a lot of shit a lot of men will grow through trying to get to total self-validation. In this one, it triggers him a lot because he feels like, I'm doing all this for you.
Right.
I'm building this up for the family.
Right.
This is for us. Why am I even out here slaving my ass off if all you're going to do is complain about it? And then it's because he doesn't understand what she's really saying.
And this is like he's stewing on this shit, right?
Oh, how could he not?
Pissed off
I've
from
done
this
this.
one. I know. That's why I can feel it all.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
But
this is all for you, but I never see you.
but-
It's not for
and
me.
that's what she's
yeah,
saying.
and that's the whole argument there.
That's what she's saying is,
Yeah.
okay, I never see you. And what she's saying is, I want your attention.
That's exactly what she's saying is that I just want to see more of you. I want to hang with you. I want your attention. I want us to connect. Wouldn't it be so nice if she just said those things?
Yeah, of course.
But she says, I never see you. You're always gone. You're never here. This
Yeah.
is not for me. This is for you. Yeah.
And when a guy hears that, in
How
the moment,
ungrateful.
yes, but there's another thing that he goes in his brain, and he doesn't understand. Say the things again the way you just said them.
I never see you. You're never here. You're always gone. Never, always.
He doesn't understand that what's really happening is she's saying, I miss our connection, and I just miss you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say it any other way, so I only know how to complain about, like, most people don't have the words. They don't have the sentences to go and the ability to drop their ego and go, I miss you.
So that was me. I had a hard time with that. And let me tell you why is because I just started when I start to feel disconnected to you, I start to feel nitpicky. I don't miss you because you're around. So I don't feel the longing or missing. I actually just start getting annoyed with things that you're doing. And it's taken me this long to be like, if I start to get annoyed with everything you're doing, the way you're breathing, it's like, oh, we're missing connection. We haven't had date night. We've been really busy. We've been traveling, all the things. That's how I know I start to miss you. So I don't like feel the miss because you're here. But I have known myself now to know that if I start nitpicking the shit out of you, I'm missing a connection with you.
It's almost like you stop living in grace towards the person. Like there's this
Yes.
ability of this grace around.
Yeah.
They're like, he did that, but he's a fucking amazing guy. Or,
Right.
God,
Look at the pillows, but he's great.
She said that, but
that's how I feel.
She's the best.
And when I'm disconnected towards you, I'm like, look at the fucking pillows. I don't say this out loud. I'm thinking all of this.
Yeah.
Look at this. He left here. Oh, I can't stand him. Look at the way he breathes. Oh, you're just so annoying me. Like, that's what I start to think about. So it doesn't feel like the longing or missing, disconnected.
Yeah.
Just feels like I'm annoyed with everything you do.
No shit. It feels like a lack of gratitude for a guy. And it even might be to a degree.
Sure.
A lot of things that guys feel aren't wrong. They're just not right. You know what I mean? They're not, it's like you're not wrong, but it's actually also not the right answer.
And so that's where a lot of women are like, well, I can't like say anything and then they're just stewing all by themselves.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to think I'm not grateful.
Yeah. So
if you find the words like, I miss you, we need to connect.
Yeah.
Can we go on a date? You know?
Yeah.
Those are way different words.
Yeah.
Than why are you doing this?
We should do another episode on what exactly the woman should say in those moments to be able to pierce through the ego and the veil of the guy.
But we can go back and say how to say it.
100%.
Yeah.
But one of the this just sparked me to say that there's a way for a woman to mitigate some of this on her end as well, and that is, when was the last time I complimented? When was the last time I actually?
Yep.
If I haven't expressed any gratitude, I can't just believe he's supposed to know it. So it would be fun to
go back and then
I know we're bagging on the guys today and trying to help enlighten
Well, this is
them.
what she means. So if he hears this is what she means.
Yeah, this is what she means.
But she, on her end, needs to find the right words to say.
Yeah.
To not pull out the sword, and then he pulls out the sword, and now you're fighting for days. Like, nobody wants that. I'll say something on my end, which is, I've said this to you when we're in the line for In-N-Out. And I said, when you say something or have a question or whatever, or you do something that bothers me, my initial reaction, if anyone's seen The Office and someone calls him, but Pam doesn't put the call through, so he'll go like Michael Scott and say something like really ridiculous. And she goes, still me. And then she patches the person through and he goes, Michael Scott, like, how can I help you? Like, says it the right way.
Yeah.
My first reaction of what I want to say is really like bitchy, sassy, a joke, like kind of mean or whatever. So this is not all the time, but this is sometimes.
Yeah.
And I let that one pass, maybe a second one, and then I'm like, what'd you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the growth on my end, because I'm like, I don't need to say something bitchy every time.
Yeah.
I can just say something, be nice. We don't fight about it. We go on with our day.
I feel like I'm learning that in my older age too. I'm just realizing that first and second response are usually an emotional trigger trauma response.
Yes.
And the third one, when I get past the first and second one, like, oh no, I should say that. I should say it. And they're like, but actually it's not serving anybody but you.
You hear my mom's bitchy first comments.
That's what you think they would be.
Yeah, she's had no growth to, no, don't say that one. Just ask the second one. Or,
Yeah. Pausing and asking questions is such a beautiful thing.
Yep.
All right. So what she's missing is connection. She doesn't know how to say it.
Right.
And she doesn't want to feel, my guess is, because this has happened many times before, she doesn't want to have to feel like she has to lower herself to come ask or beg for it again. Because if she has to beg for emotional connection, it's what a guy feels like when he's begging for sexual attention.
Because he's probably thinking like she does. He's like, why do I have to ask you again for you to hang out with me?
Don't you know this?
Yeah.
How do you not know this?
Like, don't you want to hang out with me? Aren't
How
we
do
married?
two best friends turn into that?
Oh my gosh.
No, for real.
All
Like
the
when,
other things.
yeah, but
All the things.
it's like what the fuck is wrong? Where two people become best friends,
Yeah.
they have there's this chemical thing that happens between a man and a woman
Mm-hmm.
that yes, the fucking is awesome. Yes, the hanging out is awesome, but there's like some bond that creates between these two human beings. They're like, that's my person. So much they're my person, I'm gonna go create a whole new fucking family. From this other family to this family, now we're creating this new thing. And within a year or two, it becomes just like where they can't even stand each other.
Isn't that sad?
It's so fucking retarded,
It's
dude.
for all the many reasons that we talk about on this podcast.
Yeah, it's just it's like
Mm-hmm.
why is not more people going, hey, what this isn't a 50-50 thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is 90% 10% thing. 90% of people are not happy.
That's sad.
10% of people are. It just blows my mind, dude. All right, let's get to the one that
Okay, the
we
last
struggle with
one
the
I
most.
said, should we say ours? And of course we should.
Yeah.
Is what we struggle with.
Of course we should.
Of course we should. We
Okay.
should let the people know. Is what we struggle with, I think, is intention. I see you put a lot of intention into work and your send and all the things that you do. A lot of planning, a lot of time, a lot of effort. When you come home, there's not as much intention. Not that I need that all day, every single day, but more intention would be nice.
Yeah.
For date nights and all that. And then sometimes you get really good at it for a period of time, and then sometimes you don't because things need more of your attention, your time, your focus. So that's something we struggle with here and there.
Yeah. That what you're saying and what any woman is saying in that moment, I think the interpretation of that is the leader in you in these other environments is very attractive.
Mm.
That leader doesn't seem to show up at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not as attractive here as maybe you think you might be.
Mm.
So, because you throw your leadership role out the window when you get home, it makes there a vacuum. So I feel like I need to step up and be the leader. And then now our energies are crossed where now
Yeah.
I'm like trying to run and control. And I think a woman tends to maybe struggle with that more, trying to control things and make sure everything is good.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the guy typically lets her enable him in that situation, because most women are like, I run the home and he runs the this.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he takes that not as, okay, she's going to specifically look at certain things within the home environment, not just the only place you're responsible is at work. There are responsibilities at home and running a home and being
Yeah.
a father
Yeah.
and a husband that are way more. So I have some stuff I want to break down on this, but I think that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I correct?
You're right.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add to that
No, that's
before
really good.
Okay, so
Break it on down.
let's talk
Yaki.
about Oh, you are you're something. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Now, this thing of intention. So let me say how you brought this up recently. And I thought it was a really great way of bringing it
Okay.
up. So
Oh, good.
we're going to let you be the good example this time, not the bad one.
Yeah.
How does that sound? Okay.
Good.
So the good example was you said very calmly, "Hey, you spend a lot of time alone." And I do. Thinking, working, whatever. Is it basically you said something, is it too much to ask for your 100% undivided attention when you're with us?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a really great way of saying it. It's like, listen, I don't think it's too much for me to ask for your undivided attention. And frankly, I don't think I've probably dipped below 85 or 90% attention, but it's in those little moments where you're like, I wish he wasn't looking on his phone or off doing something else. I wish he was right here in the moment and experiencing it with us.
Mentally, even here.
Mentally
checked
here,
in.
yeah. So, and that's exactly how I feel if my friends are not, like, if
Fully
they're on their
present when they're
phone and
here.
not present, I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
like I mentally check off and like have to check them out in the moment. You know what I mean? So, here's some mental shifts I think guys need to understand on how to, first of all, understand that's what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say? What is she saying? And just recap from a woman's perspective, just so I know they heard it, we heard it. It's the right thing.
How much intention you put in your work. I would like that at home because sometimes I feel like you're mentally checked out.
Mm.
You're not fully present, and I want you here as well.
And you've seen me be the best
The
at something,
best.
and then come home, and then I'm not even showing up with the best energy there.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm feeling like I'm kind of getting. You're not giving me all.
Tired of carrying you here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a guy needs to understand that just because of his leadership at work and his ability to create does not actually, it doesn't actually translate that means you're a good husband. Okay. So you're a good provider.
Mm-hmm.
But, just because there's providing there doesn't mean there's emotional connection and actual the feeling of, wow, he did this for me. He thought of me. He actually spent some time and effort on me. I can tell you, like, back even when I would just make Christmas shopping, I would just go to the one store and get you 5 or 6 things from Lulu.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
like,
so glad you said that.
You're like, fuck, man. Like,
Where's any intention in that?
Yeah.
That was just because you had to.
Yeah. So it was like,
And that's what it feels like too.
yeah. So you're like, oh, so I'm not that big of a deal to this guy. And this shows up.
I'm a last minute thought. That's what it feels like.
And why would anybody want to fucking feel that way? So that's the first thing is a guy has to shift. Wait, just because you're able to provide does not provide financially for the monetary, for the means.
Yeah.
Does not mean that you're providing for her in an emotional way. And this is actually this is why she came to the relationship. Of course, she wants to be provided for and taken care of. And who doesn't want to marry the stud of the group? But also,
it feels so lonely if you're not checked in at home.
Yep, that's
so
the first thing.
What do I care about that?
Understanding but here's the beautiful thing. The same principles you apply in business, if you apply them to your marriage, work wonderful. What does that mean? You make you solve a problem and you make the people feel valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So what is her problem?
You hear them out.
Yeah.
You listen. You fix it. You put intention, meaning we intentional about our schedules. We have our meetings at home. We have our meetings together. We have our date night meetings. All the things that you would do for your work, I need that at home too.
If a woman felt that there was some sort of closeness in those degrees of intention, she would lose her mind in a positive way. Mm-hmm. So it's the concept, if a guy understands, well, how is a man shown that he's valuable in business? Well, he's got satisfied clients and he's got a bank book that probably represents cash flowing to him, right? So there's a huge value exchange. Well, if he looks at the lack of intimacy and connection and sex with his wife as him doing a poor job of serving his market, then he should stop going, well, I just did these things, you should accept it. That would be as stupid as a business owner and be like, hey, it is what it is, just fucking buy it. It's like, wait, but it's not a good product. It doesn't actually solve the problem. It's got more hype than it actually provides. There's some claims you made here that aren't happening. So it's as if a guy would yell at a customer or a client going, you're a piece of shit, we're not wrong, if he has all of these deficiencies, and yet he's looking at his wife and saying, what's wrong with you? Why don't you show me appreciation for this mediocre fucking product I'm giving you?
You nailed it.
So if he takes the same business principles and go, hey, wait, I'm really valuable in the marketplace because I solve this problem and I treat people this way. And people come to Married Game to solve a problem. They stick around in our group and come to our other men's groups and stuff because they want to feel like they're a part of something and feel connected with other dudes going the same direction. Mm-hmm. So it's actually the connection that they're more after than anything, even though they have a problem they need to solve. Mm-hmm. So if you applied that and said, well, what is the problem that my wife's trying to solve? My wife wants to feel seen, secure, understood, loved, cared for, and actually know that she's being thought about. Because her brain is where a woman usually sticks and stays. Yep. That's where she's usually at. And so if you can't hit that part of it, it's like you're never going to bypass it and go into the rest of the stuff because she's like, this shit's so fucking bone dry. How am I even supposed to even care about the other thing? If you can't eat and you can't fucking sleep and you don't drink water or have oxygen, you do not give a fuck about sex. So what is her oxygen? What is her breathing? What is her thing?
Yep.
The same way you think about it in business. Okay, well, what do they want? They want fucking pussy. Well, why can't they get it? Because they're an idiot. So what do you need? Show them a program how to not be fucking idiot, be an idiot in the relationship, and the pussy will flow to them. And this is one of those fucking concepts.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Giving first is a business principle. Give first. Give first. And yet, in a marriage, a guy's like, no,
Take
no,
first.
take first, take first, take first, take first. It's like, it's they don't even understand that just the law of any great relationship is a give and take. There's that. Okay, so
Give, then take.
Give. All right. Biz practices applied to marriage create what? An ROI. We call it the return of intimacy. So if you just see it as the more I invest into this thing, and it's not investing in things that I think you are important to you, finding out what is important to you and going, I want to do some meaningful thing like that. I'll give you a very simple example. You told me how much you liked me when I read those little notes on the napkins and stuff. And I thought, well, if she likes that, what could I do for her more? So what if I did a handwritten letter
I got it today and I took a picture of it.
Yeah, and I
love it.
I sealed it with wax, and I thought that's just
It's cute.
I just like what could be the next level?
Yeah.
I want you to know.
Yeah.
Like through actions.
Yep.
Wow, this motherfucker actually sat down, and that's actually something I'm really good at.
Yeah.
Is writing and telling you how I feel through those.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, shit, she says she likes it. This will be fun.
I think it's cute.
And if I want to have a truly romantic relationship, I need to be romantic. Okay, then the last thing is, this is a powerful one they need to think through that will cause this intention thing to never come up again. It might come up again but if you did this, it would never come up again.
Okay.
But nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, and I'm pretty damn good at this, and I'm not fucking perfect. Then here's the new standard. How was I when I was dating her, trying to win her over? That's it. Have I stopped any of that? And this is the answer, I think, for both man and woman. It's like, if I think back to what was it like for me when you and I first started dating, and is there anything I did then, thought then, acted then, perceived then that I'm not doing now? And if that's the case, I've dropped the ball. I think a woman should ask the exact same thing. When I was trying to lock this guy down, how sexual was I? How complimentary? How touch? Because you hear about these horror stories. I think you and I have come a long way in this, where I don't know that we're perfect, but I think we're fucking doing a lot better than most.
Yeah.
In this particular thing, like, what's the dating? What was your standard when you were trying to win her or him? I thought about this a little bit, and I thought, there's some things I want to change. I know some things that I'd like to upgrade for me. And I go, we hear it all the time. I hear it on every fucking call when a man calls in and wants to talk to me about how he fixes his marriage. It was awesome in the beginning. And it's not now. That's it. Well,
why?
What were you doing back then? What were you doing? You were rearranging your business schedule to see her. You were texting her fun things. You were doing all this shit. You were excited to, like, wherever she was at. You know, like when you and I first started kind of hanging out, I was like, I hope Jesse's working today. And when I go in there, I get to see her.
Every time we talk about in the beginning, I always go to like a couple of different places.
Where?
Well, first is where I worked.
Okay.
And you would come in, see me. But then, we would stay in a
Tell
hotel.
them it's Hooters so they don't think it's Sapphire. Not that it would be a problem if it was a Sapphire, but it was Hooters.
It was Hooters. I was working at. I'm a Hooters girl for life.
Let's
Where my
go,
girls
dude.
at?
Tight orange shorts and big poofy white socks.
I did that for a long time. I really, really liked it, actually.
I always liked you in the black tank.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Well, you still like me in the black tank.
Yeah, I do. Is that a special day?
Fridays, I think we would wear it.
Fridays or black tank top day. Got it.
Wow, that just came to me. I forgot a lot of things. Anyways.
I know we were going to go to sushi after this, but we should go to Hooters. That would be funny.
Oh, yummy.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. And the Airs, because we would always stay at the Airs Hotel, because you were back and forth between Vegas, California.
Yeah.
And we always, I wonder if that's why I like being in hotels with you all the time. I
Mm.
feel like that free again, like at the
Mhm.
beginning of our relationship. But I always go to the airs, like I can picture the whole room and everything.
Is that the first time we?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that
Well,
too.
it was kind of the second time, but yeah,
Yeah. Was that when I was
it,
running around the hotel room with singing into a hairbrush?
it was just about that time. But you just were so comfortable being so free and open. I'm like, who the fuck is this
Do you
guy?
mean
Like,
naked?
we
Yeah.
just were, walking around that way. You were just so
Yeah. Just a
free.
man in the wild
It
in
was
this
wild.
hotel room.
Yeah. But we were so new and you were so comfortable.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really like blowing my mind.
Yeah. I'm going to think, I think that's a really good thought exercise. What did I do back when I was dating to win this woman?
Got me medicine when I was sick.
I did get you medicine. You got me medicine when I was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You used to make me scrapbooks.
You were like, what happened to that? I was like, those days are over.
Yeah, well, see, shame on you,
Nah.
everybody.
I just
Get
looked
it.
at it not that long ago and I'm like, this looks ridiculous.
But it was the thought. Like, I never had anybody do that before.
Oh, really?
Who's gonna make me a scrapbook about
I
me?
don't know.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah. That,
Would you like me to make one? Or
um,
would you really don't care too much?
I don't know. It's not the scrapbook.
Thought.
It's the Charles Carroll Carrollton thing.
So I do still do those things.
Yeah, you do those types of things.
Okay, cool.
You will get a picture of something that's meaningful to me, so I can hang it up in the man cave. Or yeah, you you kind of do that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
different.
good.
Yeah, yeah, that is good.
So I
What-
am. So am I kind of the same from the beginning of our relationship?
Yeah, I think we're both. I think we've both had. I think this is maybe a good. I bet you if we have a conversation about this at lunch today, we'll probably come up with some ideas for each other.
Yeah.
I could only imagine you might have some ideas of things I used to do that I just don't even remember.
hmm
And I would want to know that because there's things that I think that you did early on and that I did early on that you do for somebody to make them realize how special they are to you.
mm
And then maybe after years and years and years, you just forget like you're special for each other, but there's not the extra effort to show.
hmm
No. You're very special to me.
hmm
Um
We're like 90% there.
I think we're 90%
Yeah, I
there.
think we're doing pretty good.
Maybe even higher than that.
Yeah.
But I don't. There's maybe some things I'm not seeing that I would want you to share with
I'll
me.
think about it.
Yeah, you don't have to share with me on the line here. But did I say on the line?
On the line.
What's that movie?
What?
That's that one where he goes on the line. He goes, we're gonna take pictures and put them on the line.
On
It
the
was
line.
Vince Vaughn.
Dang it.
It was Internship.
Oh
We
yeah.
have to go watch that.
No, couples retreat.
That was also good too.
I love that one.
Okay, so both.
Boom.
So just
boom,
boom.
Okay,
Harness
all right.
it. Yeah.
Use
encouragement.
it.
Use it.
Oh my god, I love that.
All
movie.
right. So what do we have? What ground have we covered today, Jesse?
I
Joy?
think a lot of ground, but it's the meaning behind your woman's nagginess.
Yeah. Understanding
Yeah.
if she's saying
And
these things
ultimately, all of it really is she wants more connection with you. That's like all of it.
and wants to she wants to feel like you actually care and that you would put it all comes down to, in my opinion, effort and action.
Yep.
Is he putting any effort into me anymore? Is he putting action into me anymore?
Mhm.
Is there, or is it all
In our
words?
life.
In our life, or
Towards
is it
our
all
life.
words? Is it
Right.
just,
It's all just rah, 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 and then he's not there, and
yeah.
the action towards it.
I think another good understanding to have as we were talking about this and kind of bringing this to a close. Men don't understand. I don't think happy women nag. Like they don't look at the nagging as the check.
Do I
oil.
nag anymore?
No, I don't think so.
And if you say that I probably nag, it's probably just your own.
You don't nag. You have a tendency to want to control things,
Yeah, I
maybe
do,
more so than
definitely.
most people.
Mhm.
And I see that tendency come out where
Yeah.
it's like she just can't leave well enough alone. Like you have to say something.
I don't say as much as I want to.
Yeah, so you've
but
almost completed the
yeah.
transformation. You're still working on it.
And why do I control? Yeah, it's true. I'm working on it all the time. But why do I control?
Because your mother.
No. Well, yes, ultimately,
No,
yes.
I'm just kidding. Because you are controlling.
Because I love.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
I want everything to go perfectly and smooth. It's
Yeah.
because I love.
Yeah.
Because then I wouldn't control anybody if I didn't give a shit. I would be like, whatever, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why.
I actually know that tendency because there's sometimes where I just can't keep my mouth shut in certain things, and I just
That's so true.
I just need to. So
And you're like, bro, actually, you've been bad at that lately.
have I?
Remember, I was like, yes, I know. Like, why are you saying that to me?
What? When?
You're like, you got to do this. I'm like, what?
Did
I just laugh at you now because I'm like, what are you doing?
Do you have the specific context?
Oh,
These are fun to break down. I don't care who the fuck.
I think it was like driving something, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you're the backseat driver now.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Something so stupid like that. I was just laughing at you, and you're like, my bad.
Yeah. Shit. Didn't see that one.
Yeah.
This is the attitude most men have, that they can't just be like, if their wife says something and be like, oh shit, hey, thanks for showing that to me.
Yeah.
They have to feel like they have to defend their honor, not knowing that they're defending something that's really just really silly.
Yeah.
Their
ego.
But it doesn't hurt a man to pause when his best friend, the person who knows him more than anybody and can tell whether he's full of shit or not full of shit, when she says something, for him to go, what if I just look at this as the check engine light on my dashboard?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do? So when you do a check engine light, comes on in your car, what does the guy do? Does he get mad at the car so it fixes itself? No, he pulls it over, he takes it to the shop, they plug it in, and they run a diagnostic test.
Yeah.
What caused this thing to trip to illuminate this light for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this plug came undone. It can be as simple as a vacuum hose popped off.
Yeah. Your gas not all the way tight.
It can be an air sensor went off. The coldness of the air outside became too much too fast.
Yeah.
It can be one of any of these things. And would they go, no, that's not true. No, I know they said that the vacuum hose is off, but dude, this vacuum hose this is a brand new vacuum hose. It can't happen. It's like, well, but it is.
Yeah.
And so I think that if a guy just pauses and go, wait, happy women don't do this. She didn't act this way in the beginning. Maybe I should figure out why. You might even figure out it has nothing to do with you. But if you don't know how to ask a simple question and hear somebody tell you that, like, even on this thing, you were telling me, I was like, well, tell me more. Like, what's the actual specific situation?
You're right.
I'm actually very curious about it.
Yeah, I'll write it down next time.
But do. Because what will help me understand is I'm interacting with people in a certain way. They're experiencing me in a certain way. And my ego wants to say that my way of being is perfect right now. It can never get better.
Absolutely.
And that would be the dumbest thing in the world to say. Because it's not even true. You know? I already know I've lived long enough to know that this 46-year-old version is a lot better than my 36-year-old version and a lot better than my 26-year-old version. But none of them can hold a candle to the 56-year-old version of me. Well, if that's fucking true, then I can't be sitting here being like, I can't learn. How the fuck am I supposed to grow if I'm not learning? And so I don't think a guy understands this. He sees his wife nagging, and what he really is, he's so mad he can't get what he wants, which is he wants her to be a certain way. And all it is just saying, you know, hey, green plant that's dying and withering on me, why are you so brown? And the plant is saying, the brownness of my leaf is telling you I'm lacking something.
Yep.
So provide the thing I'm lacking, and my leaves will be green again.
Yep.
And what does a fucking woman want? She wants to know that the dude
be watered.
He wants. I'm gonna water you right now.
Good.
All right.
Let's go to Sush.
All right, here we go. So, gang, that's the issue. Is these are the things that your wife is probably saying. This is what she actually means, and this is what you need to understand about what's happening there. Happy wives don't leave. They don't. I've never seen it.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't happen. So if your wife's not happy, find out why. What is she saying? Have enough balls and courage to look in the mirror and go, is she right? And if she isn't, upon further investigation and honest introspection and really looking at where you're showing up based on your actions, not your words, then at least you know. But if you don't, if you just immediately judge it and aren't curious, if you cast a judgment, the judgment, what the fuck do you think judgment means? Cast a judgment. We have a judgment. Guilty. Done. The case stops. But when you start to get curious, when you start to investigate and go, well, what would make her be so naggy? She didn't used to be this way. Now you can start to ask yourself, and then you have to ask yourself, is she a reflection of you? See, we all hate the feminist bullshit where they try to make women to be men. That's fucking gay and it doesn't work and it's dumb. But you should ask yourself, if she's not respecting your leadership and she's not leaning into you and she's not doing these things, well, what if she is actually a mirror to you? If you want to be the leader, then that means she's going to be a mirror to you. So you might as well fucking look in the mirror and find out who you're actually creating right here and right now. So you can do that by going to marriedgame.com. You can quit lying to yourself and thinking that it's going to get better, because it's not going to get better until you get better. That's it. Your marriage will not get better until you get better. And the problem is most guys are trying to get better in things that actually won't move the needle in their marriage at all whatsoever. It won't satisfy any of this nagging because they're doing shit that doesn't actually matter. They're beating their chest and saying, look how good I am in business. And then they come home and she goes, you might be a leader there, but you're not a leader here. And so she doesn't want to submit to you. She doesn't want to please you. She doesn't want to serve you. She doesn't want to support you in the way that you're dying for her to, because you're clearly clueless as to who she actually is. So go to marriedgame.com. Continue to listen to this podcast. Spread the word. Don't be a nerd. And remember, keep crushing it. That shit is contagious.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands.